And now, Giant Sports Talk Live. Here are your hosts, Eric and Glenn.
Hey, who ordered the poo-poo platter?
Oh, I gotta turn that up.
From McCovey Cove to the Oracle Park lights, Eric and Glenn keep the fire burning bright, fighting for the glory, no matter what it costs us, breaking down the moments from the wins to the losses. Giant Sports Talk, we're here for the ride. Eric and Glenn with the fan base pride, talking dreams, will they contend? But we'll back the Giants till the very end. Let's go, Giants! Yes, yes, yes! Oh! Eric and Glenn breaking it down, all Giants all the time.
All right, welcome to Giant Sports Talk Live. We're here post-game, game one between the San Francisco Giants and the Miami Marlins. I see Tom Glue. You were telling me in the green room you met one of our listeners, and it must have been
A couple of them. They were
It
all
must have
very
been
nice.
Tom.
Came
What's
up to me,
up?
and
awesome.
was
Hey,
one
you
of
know
them.
what?
then Darren,
Even-
no, it was great.
Even though it was an absolute shit show of a game, hey, at least you were out there and you're having some fun with the fans and talking to people who actually tune in to the show, which is pretty damn
Yeah.
cool, man. Hey, look, come on, man. Luke, golly, you're at the game. What? I mean, the game was over in the first inning. We got to have a serious talk about one Adrian Hauser, because I'm going to tell you something, man. That was absolutely horrendous, an abomination. You name whatever adjective you could think of sucking is what we need to describe Adrian Hauser's performance. Because this, look, has he haven't had a game yet that he's come out there and kind of had quote unquote a game? He hasn't. Prior to this game, his last three outings, it was 4 earned runs. Today it was 8.
Eric,
It
it's
was over.
now 29 runs he's given up in 33 innings.
That's just come
That's
on.
not a fifth starter. That's a guy that should be demoted or
Yeah.
a release. I mean, come on, 29 runs in 33 innings. And I thought today Tony V did not manage well. You got to remember, there was 8 runs on 9 hits, and it was still in the 4th inning with no outs.
Yeah.
And nobody was up in the bullpen. Is
I'll
it
tell you
so
why.
obvious? And people were
I got an
booing?
idea.
Okay.
I think I got an idea, Lou. And this is what I was thinking about. It was already a foregone conclusion, I think. And he had to eat innings, because you don't want the bullpen to come in the 3rd inning and have to cover 6 innings when you still got 3 more games to go against the Marlins. And then you got to go to Philly. So you don't want to blow your bullpen, so to speak, in the first game of the series. You just can't. And look, Brubaker, even though he gave up a run, he was solid 3 innings.
And Brubaker, I think, almost went 50-something pitches. I think the most.
Yeah.
He handled it. But I'd say the one thing about the game tonight is there were no cheap hits. I mean, it was like, oh my God, the doubles were loud. The homers were loud. There was no doubt abouters. And, again, the Giants did at least score 2 in 2 different runs. But, Arias was the main guy. The ABS thing didn't work again. Bailey didn't play tonight. So we had, what's his name, who got his first hit, which I thought was great as a Giant on Haas.
Nice double, by the way.
Yeah. But if you saw that pitch, literally, you've never seen a right-hand guy hit one down the right field line. The ball was in, he got lucky, and the ball went. But hey, guess what? He got his hit. It started a rally. But Arias, again, big 2 hits, got another steal base. Where would we be without him? But, overall, you could tell these guys were just wailing away. The homers weren't cheap. The oppos weren't cheap. And, of course, the former Giant was 2 for 4 tonight, was hitting all over the place. So it was, I'll say one thing, a young, scrappy team Miami is. I know they went in with a better record than us, but you could see this team, if they get pitching like they've done the last couple of years, they're going to be there the whole time because their team is young. And, boy, you make a mistake,
they can hit.
They can pay. Yeah,
they can hit.
And we talked about that before, but yeah, it was unbelievable. And Sandy when he gave up, I think it was the fourth run or the 3 in the 7th inning. He was at 105 pitches. So after last game where he didn't pitch much, he couldn't get the ball over. He today showed him, hey guys, again, one of these days you're going to take Eric's advice and pick me up because he was classy tonight.
Yeah, right. And it's funny because to allude to what you were talking about with the hard contact, you've heard of the term, right? The guy is a doubles machine, right? What is that usually reference to? What is that reference to, Lou? When you say that guy's a doubles machine, you're talking about a hitter, right?
Yeah.
You don't talk about a pitcher being a doubles machine. And that's exactly what Hauser was today. He was a doubles machine. The guy was giving up home runs and doubles. I mean, it was just, if I'm not mistaken, I think the freaking Miami Marlins hit about 6 doubles today. I mean,
they were loud, no doubt.
It came across on the broadcast. I was like,
yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. Hey, Josh, what's up? I don't know if you've been in a chat before. I think you're new. If you're not, well, I'm sorry that I didn't notice you before, but welcome to the fraternity we call Giant Sports Talk Live. Thank you, Johnson and Ownership, for shopping in the clearance section for pitching. And look, we're going to talk about this, right? Right. That's the people you have to blame, right? Buster Posey can only do what he could do with whatever means is given to him to go out there and sign guys, right? The Giants had to get 2 pitchers. They had to get 2 starting pitchers. And one of them was Hauser. The other one was Malley. Now, jury's still out on what's going on with Malley. Malley's last outing was fantastic against the Dodgers. Hauser so far, this is what, 6 starts in? And oh my gosh, it's just, what is going on here? There's something seriously wrong. And what are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? And we're going to talk a little bit about this earlier. I don't know what it means for the club. Did you hear about the club? Got a new investor in ownership.
What's funny is I have a buddy who's a venture capitalist, and he's familiar with them. But he asked how much they bought, because this now makes 4 different times they've sold parts of the team.
Yes.
And when they say majority, I don't know. What do you think? It was maybe 12%? Because this one was bigger than the other 3 that were announced.
Right. Yeah. You had 6th Street, which was 10%. You had that St. Louis billionaire that went out there, and I don't know how much he invested in. And now you got this new company called Thrive.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I guess they're brand new. They're brand new.
But if you look up Thrive, they own a lot of if you just Google Thrive, what they own a lot of sports parts. In fact, why we're talking, I'll look them up, but I'm very familiar with them. So they are.
We'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later, because I want to know exactly, is this a company that's going to invest in the team, or are they just trying to make their venture capitalists? What does that mean? Right? Private equity firm. They're trying to make money. They're not trying to spend money, right?
No.
I think that's kind of what it is. So I don't know. Yeah, Eddie, I saw that, and there's going to be connotations to that too, because Jared Kushner's brother is part of it, and I know. Look, I'm not going to get into politics, but it's definitely going to rear its ugly head. It's going to happen, and I'm not going to get into that part of it. But I just want to know, what's it mean for the club? Does it mean they're going to invest more money, or are they just going to be sitting tight and just, quote unquote, collecting interest?
Yeah, and what I thought was funny about it is, you notice at least the article I saw, didn't say it was about the team. They also mentioned the real estate. They also mentioned another part. So, we just don't know. But I'd love to find out. It's one of those things. Yeah. So, but more importantly tonight, the Giants tonight. It was funny because it was Cal Berkeley night tonight. First of all,
Yeah.
Giants, next time you have a theme night, give the band a little bit better. I don't know if you saw on TV, Eric, they were in the final 2 rows of the center field. I mean, that's the best they can do. They couldn't have given them behind the plate. Maybe they wanted that since they had the full band.
Yeah, because they had the band,
But, they had that, and then they had one of the former players throughout the first pitch. But the vibe, again, I know the Dodgers just happened. But the Giants, I saw a lot of Marlin hats. It wasn't really a big orange Friday where, I had my orange underneath, my Beat the Dodgers shirt, but it wasn't like a Friday night game usually. Now, it might have been a hangover from the Dodgers, which is understandable. But, these teams on a Friday night, especially this early in the season, people got to show up. When it's Orange Friday, I want the whole place to be orange. Okay?
Yeah.
It's one of those things, but, by the third inning, you knew the game was over. I know they teased us a little bit, but then the other problem that I don't like is Casey comes up, complains about an APS, then he comes back in, gets a base hit. You're starting to feel a vibe. Maybe the Giants can come back.
The momentum was building. The momentum was building.
And there's only 1 out. Then you get a hit, and the Miami guy made a great play. You knew he wasn't going to get him. He basically does a pump fake, turns around, and Casey's 10 feet off the bag.
I don't know why he was that far off the bag, man. It was a little dribbler.
Yeah,
we should have held up at second base. There was no reason to take a wide turn at second base. You can't do that, man.
Yeah, then the next batter walks. And there's a big difference when it's 8-3.
And that was a huge walk by Ramos.
1 out.
Huge.
Yeah, with 1 out, the base is loaded, the place is rocking. Instead, it's 2 outs. And the other thing, too, is, nothing wrong with Gilbert. But in that instant, especially after that moment, you got to pinch hit for Gilbert. Okay? Because he looked horrible against Sandy. Sandy was just overpowering him. That's why you have Encarnacion. Use him there. We need something to bring the spark back. I'm just saying, and then he struck out, which again, it's always easier said than done. But it's one of those things that, it really ticked me off. It's like, I think the problem with Tony V right now is he's using the bench too late sometimes. It's the one shot to get back in the game. Now, I nothing against Gilbert, but against Sandy had his number. And again,
he did get a base hit. Gilbert did get a base hit against, and he got deep in the count. The problem is he went swinging at a high fastball that he probably should have.
Do me a favor, get a helmet that fits you. I don't want to see that bandana anymore all the time. So it happens.
It happens. I mean, it is. And look, the story of the game, guys. I'm gonna tell you something right now. The story of the game wasn't the hitting. Yes, there were some bad instances. There was some bad base running. There were times that guys probably should have either drawn a walk or tried to get a base hit. But the Giants scored 4 runs. Usually in Oracle Park, if you score 4, you're looking pretty good. It was over in the first inning. It's about the pitching. And you know what? Before I start going off, let's do the numbers, Lou, and then we'll get into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
And now, today's Giants in Review on Giants Sports Talk Live.
Drive into center field.
Got him.
All right, there we go. There is the final. Giants 4. The Miami Marlins 9. Look at me, 0. Looking at the freaking errors. Miami scored 9 runs on 16 hits, no errors. Giants 4 runs on 11 hits. They got 11 hits. Just not a whole lot of runs. 4, like I said, usually is enough, but not this go around. Sandy Alcantara, Alcantara, close enough. He gets the win. He is now 3-2. Hauser gets the loss. ERA is now 7 after 6 starts. Adames 0-4, 2 strikeouts. Arias 3 hits. Man, guy's just a hitting machine. Came through in a huge RBI moment too there, Lou. My gosh.
And another stolen base.
And a stolen base. And playing good defense.
Yep.
No, that guy sucks. Chapman had a hit. Devers was 0-4 with 2 strikeouts. Schmidt had a hit. Lee, 3 hits. Lee is heating up, man. I'm telling you. He is heating up. And again, he had a big fly. Pulled that ball down right field. It was almost a splash hit. So it's good to see what Lee is doing. Heck, you might even want to throw him up in the leadoff spot. I don't know if they'll do that because they've kind of been running out the same the entire time. Maybe he's comfortable hitting there. Maybe, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of thing. And I can understand that. Ramos with a hit, Gilbert with a hit, Encarnacion 0-4 with that pinch hit, but he did draw a walk. And Haas had a nice double down the right field line. Again, runners in scoring position, 2 for 6. Not a whole lot of opportunities there. This is the story of the game. This is it right here, guys. It wasn't the hitting. As bad as everyone wants to talk about the hitting, Hauser did nothing to keep the team in this game. You want to talk about momentum? He was a momentum crusher. And you can't do this. 4 innings, 11 hits, 8 earned, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, gave up 2 3-run shots. Can't do that, man. Brubaker came in for 3, gave up 3 hits, 1 earned, and 3 strikeouts. Killian had a nice inning, and Baroki had a nice inning. It got a little bit weird there for Baroki because he had that double, but he prevented that run from coming across. Goodness, I mean, that's the story of the game right there. It's the damn pitching. The pitching was absolutely horrendous. I don't want to. This isn't the time to hear about Devers or Adames or what. This isn't the game for it. It just isn't. It's the pitching. The pitching was absolutely horrendous. End of story. End of story. Period. End of story.
4 batters in, it was 3-0. 4 batters in.
You're not going to do nothing with that.
Yeah.
And then by the 4th inning, it's already 8 runs. How are you gonna get any momentum when you have 8 runs that you gotta climb across? Come on, man. Come on. Jeez, moly, man. How is the team supposed to be in it when you're gonna press? I mean, come on. You could sit there and say until you're blue in the face. It's early in the game. You got plenty of game. But guess what? Come on. You're going to go out there and you're still going to press no matter what because it's 8 runs. They're looking at the scoreboard. They're seeing what's going on. Now, they did have a nice rally. There's no doubt about it. Damn nice rally. My gosh, I mean, it was nice to see. But what happened? You come right back out, and then Brubaker wound up giving up a solo shot, and then it wound up being 9-3. And then the Giants were able to add on that one more with Jung-Hoo Lee's shot to right. But today's game, the narrative is the pitching. The pitching is a problem with Adrian Hauser. End of story. 6 outings now. This is his 6th starting performance. It sucks. Absolutely sucks. Plain and simple. So, I mean, what are you going to do with this? I mean, you signed this guy to a 2-year deal. He's probably not going to go anywhere. And you can't just go out there and set the tone for the series. Look, you still got 2 more games. We don't know what's going to happen. Absolutely have no idea what's going to happen. But again, that's going to raise some flags. I'm telling you, that's going to raise some flags.
You almost got to think, what are you going to do? Because the starting pitching, as we've been saying, let's take away the Dodgers series. Except for Roop, it's been a mystery. These guys aren't going distance. They're barely getting to the 5th. They're getting rocked. It's been very up and down. If I was Tony, I would sit down with him and maybe make him right now your long reliever, just in case you need somebody, because the next couple of games are going to be going, and that's not the easy job, but they're not going to get rid of him because they've signed him for 2 years and then a team option. Okay. So he's with us. So you got to use him the best way possible. But again, like I said, when we first started, I don't know if it's the bats Miami's using, but those balls were tagged and they had a different sound. So
they weren't missing, man. And he wasn't. Look, he was throwing BP. The pitch. Look, the pitch or the pitches that they were hitting were not hard, or they weren't the location pitches. They were right down the middle, man. It's not like they reached for them or dug them out. Those were pitches right down the middle. His sinker was not. And this guy's supposed to be a ground ball pitcher. And I saw nothing that shows that he had any kind of ground ball, anything today. I mean, it was all hard contact, line drives, balls going over the fence. It's just horrendous, man. Horrendous. Yeah. Now, that being said, okay, pitching, absolutely horrendous. There were moments in the game, and I think you talked about it a little bit with the base running and the hitting. Look, Rafi Devers, he's in a bad way, Lou. Don't know what it is. And I'll tell you something. It's weird because The stuff that his 2 strikeouts that he had today. Did you see where the balls were? You were at the game. I don't know if you could tell.
Yeah, I couldn't
But
tell.
the balls were above the zone. They were balls. He's swinging at shit that he shouldn't be swinging at, and he's not seeing it. That has not, to that point, it has nothing to do about his swing. It has everything to do about he's not seeing the ball. And I don't know what the answer is to that. I honestly don't. I have no idea why Devers is going outside the his strike zone, so to speak, to try to reach for these balls that he's just not going to be able to get.
And
Eric,
you're
you're not going to be able to do
have
that.
this problem in
weird.
Boston.
No,
Only
he
out
didn't.
here. Do you think maybe there's something where he needs LASIX? Because you're saying he's swinging at pitches that he can't see.
Yeah, and
maybe glasses or something, because
I don't know.
It's not the first time when he strikes out. It's sort of weird where when he strikes out, he walks away like he's surprised he didn't hit the ball. You know what I mean? Like, God, how did I not hit those? And then the balls he just misses and they foul back. It's like, wait a minute. I hit that solid. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. I mean, obviously it's mental, because it's come to the point now where he hasn't even been with us a whole year, but he has struck out now more than he's done like probably the last 3 years. And
ridiculous,
it's becoming a problem where either he is trying to do too much or he's just not seeing the ball right. And again, I'm not sure. I'm just, trying to come up with something, but you're right, because, you're bringing up a great point, and I never really thought about that, where these are pitches that he should destroy, or they're too high, don't take.
Or don't even, or low in the zone. He's been golfing at the ones low in the zone, and he's swinging away at the high ones, and you can't do that.
No.
And I don't know if he's just trying to do too much. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. There was an interesting article, by the way. Andrew Baggerly had a story come out in The Athletic talking specifically about Rafi Devers. So if you guys want to go take a look at Andrew Baggerly, it's quite, I can't bring it up on here because it's on The Athletic and I don't have access to that, but it's quite the story. So go check it out. Andrew Baggerly talking about Devers. Buster Posey, he's not losing confidence in him. So I'm just going to paraphrase. Buster Posey.
What's he supposed to say?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for 6 more years.
Right. Yeah, I get it. Exactly. Right.
Yeah,
exactly. So we'll see what happens. We're going to see what happens with him. It could absolutely fall apart, or he's just having a bad start to the season. I don't know. I can't answer that question, man. I'm sorry. That is not within my ability to dissect. Look, the only people who could do this are the people who are in the organization. That's it. End of story. We could sit here and throw out freaking different ideas and assumptions of what we may think it is or not it is. We don't know. Only he does. We're fans, and the only thing is we want to see Rafi Devers go out there and produce, right? He's a San Francisco Giant, and we want him to produce. Period. End of story. And how is that going to happen? I don't know. I don't have those answers, guys. Have patience. That's all I could say is have patience. And then until there's time to have no patience. I don't know. Honestly, I can't answer that. JB donates $2. Our good friend from Down Under. Hauser's nickname, Cookies. Serving up the middle. That kind of sums up. I think you're muted, Lou. I think you were saying.
Yeah, sorry. I actually had a guest credential because I went on the field for batting practice.
Nice.
With some people, and I forgot to take it off. Sorry about that. But no, it was, I think you bring up a great point, because we've talked about this, a problem with the starting pitching. And I think it's one of those things where we keep talking about it, but they need to do something about it. You can't keep going. And again, one of the problems is, and we don't really, it's still early in the season, but when these pitchers are getting pounded or they're only going 4 innings, it's going to hurt the bullpen that has really been the star of the show. When you take Arias out, the star of the show has been the bullpen. It's been productive.
Yeah, it has been.
When you're only doing 4 innings or you're getting pounded, one of these things, before you know it, the bullpen is going to be shot by July. And if you remember the last 2 or 3 years, the bullpen by July 4th and August has nothing left.
Yeah, they
it's
empty
one of
the
those
tank.
things. So we need to take care of it. We just need guys that are going to keep us in the games, not like tonight where the game was over. It's hard to come up. And the other thing too is, we can't really be saying, oh, it was only the first inning. He gave up a run in the second. He gave up a run in the third. He then gave up 3 in the fourth. And, it was one of those things where come on, guys. Everyone saw it. And I think Eric could bring a great point. Maybe he was the guinea pig. It's only the first game of the series, all that. But my God, it was like, I've never been to a ballpark this early where they were booing. I don't know if you can see that on TV, but they were booing. Like, get him out of there. And the worst thing is people are looking and, there was nobody warming up in the bullpen. It's like, dude, what is wrong here? We paid money. We want to see something. Now, again, things changed when the Giants scored 3. It was nice, but still, you can't have a starter that gives you no chance to win. I think is the best way. So,
hey, let's bring in Glenn. He was also at the park today. I saw that nice photo of you and Dean. That was a great photo, by the way. So what's up, man? We kind of already talked a little bit about it. What do you got to say about today's clunker of a game?
Well, before I do that, Eric, second time tonight. Hi, Lou. Lou,
Nice.
Lou spotted me up in the club zone.
Club level.
I moved to club level tonight, Eric, thinking we'll treat ourselves to a good night of ball. Well, that was a waste. But,
Yeah, that sucked.
not all of us can be hanging around there with, the upper echelon. I'm just a peon moving my way down. Lou is already there in the front. Anyway, back to the game. You guys, when I jump in and do it, I'm just giving it my perspective, guys, from what I see at the ballpark. Lou was there tonight, so he probably already has. But here's my take. Is there anybody in AAA can fill this role in our pitching staff or starting staff? Because Lou, Eric, here's my problem. You could say it was a bad night. He's off to a bad start to his season, Eric.
They had one good start.
They had 5 doubles, 2 homers. Okay, 5 doubles, 2 homers, and then all those scattered hits. Lou, didn't you find they were solid contact? They were hitting the ball hard. And it wasn't like you just touched on my notes here. I got there's when I go to the games, this is equivalent of my notes, right? 3 in the first. So you go, bad start to the night. Okay, let's settle in. 1 in the second, 1 in the third, 3 in the fourth. I go, this is out of hand. It's over. And I was waiting for them to start playing our favorite song. When the Giants come to town, it's Bye Bye Baby, because by the 4th inning, my section up in that beautiful section I was in tonight, the people were right in front of us. 4th inning. I said, you're not leaving. Seen enough. And they're season ticket holders. So I think they're starting to play Bye Bye Baby as often as they can, just to recognize the fans who did pay to get in, because they're heading out. They're heading home. Bye Bye Baby. Lou, I don't know if you were there late enough to. I understand Vitello. He let him in, and I know we just came off a tough series with the Dodgers, okay? Now we're going against the Fish, and it's a Friday night. You got a busy weekend ahead. So he didn't burn the bullpen. I think he had to try to just, let him eat some innings and see how far we go. But I'll tell you, it's the 9th inning when I'm starting to lose a little patience with Tony Vitello. Did you watch the game in the 9th, Eric? Lou, you're probably on the road heading home. He brings a guy who doesn't have a big average off the bench named Encarnacion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? We all know him. We know that, he's no Wilmer Flores. He's certainly no Dom Smith. Why would you bring your power-hitting bat off the bench to lead off the 9th inning?
Because they're facing a lefty.
And you've got other bats who can also need at-bats. Get them in there. Try to – listen, if Tony Vitello's role on this team is to give up, he certainly showed it to me tonight. Gave up.
I mean, it was
why are you bringing your bopper in to lead off the 9th? And my God, this is it not, Lou, a comedy of errors? This team does not learn from their mistakes. Between Schmidt and Ramos making mistakes on base pass, they never learn. What was Schmidt doing? Because he would have set up a bigger inning, perhaps, because the next guy got on base.
He drew a walk, and then Drew actually had a nice at bat. He didn't get anything done, But I mean, it's just the momentum was sucked right out of it because I don't know why he overran the bag as far as he did. That was just it made no sense. It made no sense.
That's
And then
my
Ramos
take.
had a fantastic at bat
There's
because Sandy at that point was, he was starting to empty the gun.
101 pitches. He was starting to lose.
You could have maybe got to him, but unfortunately, it just wasn't meant to be.
No, there's a lot to unpack there. I've gone over a lot of stuff. The hard hit balls, 5 doubles, 2 home runs, those crooked numbers throughout the game, first and fourth inning. It was getting out of hand. I thought Tony Vitello, you just gave up. He's like, I just give these guys, a chance to get some at bats late in the game. And but Encarnacion leading off. I mean, if you're going to manage, even though you're down, Eric, you manage the right way. He's the guy you bring up when you've got bases loaded, even 2 men on. He's leading off the 9th inning. Why is Will Brennan not batting in the 9th inning?
Because it was a lefty.
It doesn't matter, Eric. Why? Okay, so we get the bases loaded. We score a run. The bases are loaded. We got 1 or 2 outs in the inning. And then you go, well, we're going to bring in Oliva. That is not the right baseball move to make, Eric.
Yeah, at that point, you're 3 outs to go. You're down by 5 runs. That didn't really matter. It didn't. And look, if you're down by 1,
I don't give up. I don't want to quit. So I get
it. But you had a lefty, so you brought in Encarnacion, and right after that, you brought in Koss. Then you come in after that, and it's Adames. I mean, you had it kind of set up to where you could get a big game.
Lou, help me out here. Are you siding with Eric or me? Because I don't think that is a well-managed 9th inning.
All right. Forget the 9th inning. I bought it up where after Schmidt made the bonehead error on the thing, the next guy walked, I would have pinch hit because you needed a bomb. Okay. Instead, you're bringing up a rookie who, he got a hit, but Sandy, I thought, was dominating him. Okay. And right there, that's when you bring Encarnacion up. You need a 3-run jolt. You don't need a single. And the other thing is you then have a chance to make it 8-6 instead of 8-3. The other thing, what you talked about, I told Eric, I don't know if Miami's using different bats, but those balls in the first 4 innings were smoked. It was like batting practice. And at one time, there was no outs in the 4th. They had 8 runs in on 9 hits. At least by me, people are telling Tony V he had nobody up in the bullpen, by the way. And when they finally put Brubaker in the 5th, they were booing the Giants and booing Tony V. Tony V was just sitting in his usual spot, sitting there, but they had nobody. It's like, all right, when you say you gave up, and Eric said maybe they sacrificed him, yeah, but it comes to a point now where at least have somebody in the bullpen throwing up. This guy has been getting rocked, and you can see that. You were talking about the doubles. They were lucky some of those doubles weren't home runs. They were like laced, and it was the first time I've seen it. It was almost like when you see Judge and them hitting balls, right? It was, none of them were cheapies. They were unbelievable. Again, I don't know if it's the bats they use, but you could tell, like, oh my God, and it was one of those things where I thought if I would have used Encarnacion, I would have gone for the homer there because the homer gets the place rocking. A single doesn't, and unfortunately, it just didn't happen. And, the other thing too is about Gilbert, and I told this to Eric, get a helmet that fits. I'm sick and tired of him swinging so hard. And then
it looks like Jung Hoo Lee did. I don't see Jung Hoo Lee's helmet flying off, but Gilbert has an issue with that.
But, it's one of those things. And it's just, with Sandy, I thought Sandy pitched great. Again, it's really easy when you're up 8-0 and you give up 3 runs, but he was in total control, and if it wasn't for Arias getting these hits going the opposite way where nobody else really tried except our catcher, and that was purely by sacrifice because the ball was already there. I just thought Sandy overpowered him, and the Giants were really never in the game. It was just one of those things. And as Eric says, maybe the Giants will listen to Giant Sports Talk Live, and we can get someone like Sandy and get a pitcher we can rely on, because the thing with Hauser is we have him for 2 more years, so he's not going anywhere. What I would do, because he's not effective as a starter, have him as your long relief guy. You're going to have to do something because you can't keep going where really you have Roop who's consistent. Everybody else is not consistent. And right now it's fine, but you keep doing this for another month and a half, our bullpen's going to be shot by July 4th.
Yeah, and another thing I thought was kind of strange, we're not that far along into the season, Lou. Why are we playing about a fifth string catcher over Bailey on a Friday night?
Yeah, I was surprised.
Why was this guy playing?
I didn't even see Bailey even in the dugout. He didn't take batting practice. He wasn't doing the drills. I was there before the stadium even opened. I did not see him at all because a couple kids liked Bailey and they said, "Hey, where's Bailey?" I saw him nowhere. So again, I don't know if this was a scheduled start to give him a day off, but I didn't see him anywhere. And I'm a little amazed that, I could understand maybe Bailey goes tonight and then 2 consecutive day games getting the kid in. But, that's just me. I didn't see him anywhere. I didn't see him in the dugout doing drills. So maybe there could be something that we're unaware of right now where maybe he could have been injured. But I just thought it was, it was weird. Let me put it that way.
I just think if you're batting this other catcher over Bailey at this point in the season, and you listen, Lou, we can't afford any. You lost tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We're tied for last place with Colorado, but we're playing fifth string catchers. Come on, man. We gotta. This team leaves a lot to be desired, both on the field, in the bullpen, the whole thing. It's what we expected, really. Weaknesses in every dimension of the game, and I think we saw it tonight. The only bad thing that would have made it a better night, I mean, it's not a bad thing. It would have been a good thing. Is did they show the replay on TV, Eric? Because Lou and I saw it on the big screen. How often in his career is Jung-Hoo going to miss a splash hit by about 2 inches?
They showed it
off the railing.
Went off the railing and went into the drink. Yeah, that was.
They
said he got both cheeks in it. He did. That was a hell of a swing by.
That would have been something. Would have been good for the kid, but you know what? I just said to Dean, I said we got to get more solid slash hits from this guy because they just seem like weak.
He's on a tear right now. And look, you got to ride that because he's now batting 275. It wasn't that long ago. He was in the 100s. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from Jung-Hoo Lee.
But am I wrong, Eric? Tell me what you think about this statement. Isn't this old Giants baseball we've become used to doing this show anyway, the short time, where you get a guy like Lee now kind of turns it up. He's on a bit of a heater right now, right? Mm-hmm. And I agree with you. Well, where's Adamas? We're freaking Devers tonight. A couple of bad strikeouts. I mean, Devers is your cleanup guy, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got to clean up the mess every night with him batting fourth.
He's got issues, man. I don't know what it is.
I think honestly, the issue is he's on the team, Eric. That's the issue.
I'm telling you, he's not. I've already talked about this. He's not seeing the ball. Period. End of story. Hold on. We'll talk about that. I'm going to get to Jay. Says the Giants had a few chances with 2 on. Again, that was one of them where Devers hit into a double play. That was horrible. Where Horner puts it back, or when a homer puts him back in the game and they fail to execute at the plate. Hauser's lousy performance put them in too big of a hole. That's a fact. Look, it was going to be almost impossible to come back from that deficit that Hauser had him in. And that was after 4 innings, man. 4 innings, and all of a sudden, you're going to have to battle back, and then it doesn't put the team in a position to where you could go out there and start putting together. Now they had a nice, what was that, 5th inning? I think it was the 5th inning where they put up that cricket number, which is great to see. But again, this all stemmed from that horrible start, and we'll talk more about that. But you know what? I'll tell you what. One thing Giant Sports Talk Live doesn't do, we don't have private equity sponsors. That's a fact. right, there's our proud sponsor, Tommy's Mexican Restaurants, where you could go get the world famous Tommy Margarita everywhere but Antarctica. And don't forget, fantastic Mexican food, man. It's good stuff, guys. You will not be disappointed if you go hang out at Tommy's Mexican. But let me get to the super chat since we're still talking pitching. Rob donates $2, says, I have Tidwell open for Hauser in his next term. Now we're going to have to go. Now we're going to have an opener for Hauser because it seems like he just can't find it. Whatever. I saw he has a comment. I'm not going to even play it, but whatever. It is what it is. But we got a problem here, Glenn, and I don't know how they're going to solve it. They signed Hauser to a 2-year deal. Granted, it's not like super expensive. It's only $10 million, I think, right, per year, something like that. But are we? I mean,
is he going to turn it around, Derek? Is he going to turn it around? How long did we sign Devers for, Eric? How long we signed Devers for? I'm waiting for him to turn it around.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And we're just going to have to see. I don't think they're going to move off of Hauser. I just don't think. That's kind of not what Buster does. But hey, there's Dean. What is up, man? I saw the photo of both of you guys. That was an awesome photo. Too bad you couldn't see a better game. Too bad you. Yeah, J10. I was just talking about that.
Thanks, Dean.
We'll get into that here in a bit before we get out of here. Talk about the Giants' new owner was announced today, so that's going to be a little bit weird. I don't even.
Do you notice in the chat tonight? And I know they're siding with me, which is kind of cool. But you see, there's a lot of disenchantment in our chat lately, and tonight with Mr. Devers.
Oh, I understand.
They got one over on us. Can we trade him? Devers looks like he couldn't care less. Cash in the check. There's a lot of disenchantment.
Look,
and it shouldn't just be him. What do we get from these guys? Look like they're just here on the company payroll, man. They're just putting in the time.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that. We don't know.
Excitement. Lou, you were at the game. Did you not see more hustle, young excitement, a fresher product from the Marlins tonight?
I thought the Marlins were young and scrappy.
They
weren't satisfied up 8-0. And the one thing, too, I want to bring this up to Eric. It was 8-0 with no outs in the fourth. And then they got another hit, and then they got a foul out, and then the double play. So, really, you're almost talking 3+ innings. And, I know they got to save the bullpen. But like I said, Glenn, I told Eric this. It was the first time I've been at a Friday night game this early where the fans were booing. And that's not a good time this early. And
Lou, a lot of empty seats.
Yeah.
A lot of empty seats, Lou.
Yeah. And, again, it's early. Miami's not a big draw, but you could see the difference. This is a team that you could see Miami's sort of hungry, and they were going out there. And like I said, they were not cheap. But, I think the one thing that you said, Glenn, and I'll bring up is, the Giants won the first 2 games against the Dodgers to open the homestand. And I think it was last night, Glenn, on our second show after the 3-0 loss to the Dodgers, is he says, I hope the Giants realize, especially after Miami swept them last year, the Giants need to come to play. Because Miami has nothing. They can hit. We need to hit. And now the homestand is 2-2. And, Glenn sort of said, I don't want the Giants where we took 2 out of 3 and we don't do well. And all of a sudden we get taken 2 out of 3 by Miami or swept like last year. Then it's a bad homestand and we're going on the road, So I just think it's one of those things where, it's funny. I saw Gabe Kapler walking in. He was in a black leather jacket. He basically was all pumped up. He was there representing the Marlins. But, I just thought overall it was a bad game. But, they need to bounce back tomorrow. They need to come out because Miami's the same way. They're going to do their usual, But the one thing, too, I'm going to bring up, we gave up 16 hits. Okay,
you can't win a game giving up 16 hits.
16 hits is a lot of hits.
The Giants, the problem today wasn't the hitting. Yes, there were some situational issues where you would have liked to get them, but they scored 4 runs in Oracle Park. Usually that's going to get it done. But you give up 16 hits and 8 runs. Well, guess what? You ain't going to win those games, no matter what.
The other thing, too, is, the pitching was a problem, but the Giants got 11 hits, but only one walk. Okay? The Giants got to start walking, get on the base. But the other thing is, when you get 11 hits, you should score more than 4 runs. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, absolutely.
You get 11 hits and the run.
Lou, the best at bat tonight, I think one of you guys just touched on it while I was on my phone. Did one of you just mention or maybe it was somebody in the chat, mentioned the at bat by Drew Gilbert? I know it didn't, he kind of shillelagh'd that way. He missed on a strike full count, but that was the best at bat of the night, Lou. They worked the pitcher for that at bat. I find they don't. How come they can force our pitchers to? It's the 7th inning where like Webb throwing 101 pitches and guys throwing 100 pitches in the 7th inning in San Diego, the series I went to. But we like to go up there 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, boom, or 3 pitches. Devers, good morning, good night. Go to the bench. That's it. What? We got to take walks, boys. We got to get on base, boys.
And and it's funny how you say that because that's something that Devers has always done. That's why something is not right. And I don't know what it is. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend and say no it is. I'm not going to sit there and say he's going to cash checks. I'm not going to sit there and say this. I don't talk to him. I'm not in his head. Only he can answer those questions, right?
Eric,
because he's not drawing.
What is it then? Well, what is it? You can't make
What do
it.
you think the solution is? Should they move him down to like 6th? Because
I don't know.
Seems like when he's batting 2nd or 3rd, it's not being productive.
But the funny
and
thing
he's not
is,
there.
The funny thing is, where was this conversation when we won the series against the Dodgers?
I agree there.
You see what I'm saying?
I'll agree.
The problem is because when they go out there and lose, all of a sudden everyone's going to go and put it on Devers, and I get it because he does deserve some criticism. Don't get me wrong, but my God, we just won the series against the Dodgers, and now everyone is freaking losing their absolute minds because you lost the first game against the Miami Marlins. Now, I said that from the beginning. It was an absolute shit show today. They got to pitch the ball better. End of story. But that's the funny thing. Everybody gets up in arms about a freaking loss, but then when we sweep the Dodgers, all those people who are criticizing Devers, they're all of a sudden they're quiet. They're not saying nothing. And
I think it should be the opposite though. Eric, I think it should be the opposite. If in pro sports, the other day you said to me, well, that might be business, but it's not pro sports. Well, that's pro sports. Even if you have a good series. Lou, how many times have you seen in the Stanley Cup playoffs? Guy has a great series and they lose. A guy like Connor McDavid, he's your team captain. He's one of the best in the league. Who takes the heat? Well, Devers is your cleanup man who's on a big money contract and he's long-term. Put those 3 things, rattle them around the hat. He stinks. He is not worth the position. And what is it, Lou? You brought it up before in the show, Lou. You want to get me heated? Lou, what is it about this organization? It's like he's kind of our cleanup guy, so we'll leave him there. You know what? Stop with the I don't know what the term is. Stop with babying these players. And, Adames wants to play second, so we got to let him play. Or Adames wants to be leadoff guy, and we're an Arise at second base. I mean, I'm getting wound up, but you see what I'm saying, Lou?
Yeah,
it's pamper and do what it takes to win.
That was Melvin's
no doubt.
excuse last year. Now they're doing the same thing. Maybe it's just the overall Giants organization because that was Melvin. We had the problem with Ramos in the outfield. Well, what am I supposed to? I have nobody else. Okay, well, you're going to have to get to the point now where, again, I'm not going to just say it's all on Buster, but Buster made the trade.
He did.
Okay.
That's a fact.
And we thought it was good, but it's backfired. He also got Hauser. He thought we need a fit starter. Let's get this guy. That has not worked. The signing of Chapman, I'm not 100% because, we still got him 4 more years. Adames. So, it's getting to the point now where, I think we need, I'm not saying we need a change, but these guys need to step up,
No doubt about it. There's no doubt about it.
Glenn brought up a great point. We lose tonight. Now we need this, we almost need this sweep to try to be 500. And the way the Giants are, tomorrow they're going against Miami's best pitcher. We have Ray. This is where Ray has to step up. But if he doesn't step up, the Giants will be lucky to score 2 or 3 runs. You got to like Miami's chances. So
we can come out of this series, Lou and Eric. I know it's early in the season. You can say what you want, but we can come out of this Monday morning when we're doing the morning show. we could be talking about a last place San Francisco Giants team in the West
Good.
Division. They are tied. They are tied with Colorado. Colorado come back and won tonight. They're tied for last place. Last place, guys.
Yep.
Not acceptable, a Giants team.
I hear you.
And Lou brought up a great point, Eric. We wish you were here last night because I almost fell out of the chair, and you would have been like, "What the hell am I hearing?" Lou is a little worried. Lou, a lot of empty seats. A lot of people dressed in green. I'm telling you, some B. Heart pill time. A lot of empty seats tonight, and Lou is a little concerned with the WNBA season getting underway down the street. It was Lou's take. Lou's like, they sell out. This may be a situation where finally they get their 19,000. How's that going to affect the San Francisco Giants at the gate? People were pissed out. The Boo Birds were out tonight, Eric, and I'm telling you, people seem to be they're becoming disenchanted earlier in the season. And that's all I can say. Lou, you brought up that great point last night, and I agree. Tomorrow's a preseason game for the Valkyries. It's going to be sold out, 19,000 people there.
Nice.
If
All right, here we go.
Look, Eric, they're going to hurt themselves at the gate if they don't fix this.
I have not seen Safeway Trucker in the chat before. Welcome to the fraternity we call Giant Sports Talk Live. Donates $2. Thanks, Safeway. Appreciate you, man. They need to bring up Barracoto and Eldridge. All right. I'll kick that straight to you, Lou. I'll let you handle this one. What do you think? Should they bring up Barracoto and, he's saying and, not or, he's saying bring up Barracoto and Eldridge.
If you bring them up, who are you gonna take down?
Okay, there you go. That's what I'm thinking.
The problem. And you also have two guys soon that are going to be coming back off the DL. So remember, it's not like, hey, you can just put them as a taxi squad or something like that. If you're going to bring somebody up, you got to bring somebody down. Yeah. Now, again, here you go. Eldridge, if he comes up, what are you going to do? What are you going to do with Casey? What are you going to do with Devers? Because Casey's been pretty good as the DH.
Has been.
Okay. So also,
so would you bench Casey Schmidt to bring up Eldridge? Okay, Rob, I'd say it's the same thing. Are you okay? Say you send down costs. Are you going to take Casey Schmidt out of the lineup to bring in Eldridge? I can't
remember the last time Costs even made an appearance. I know he DH'd tonight.
He's not working the bench.
He's still alive.
Who cares?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
That's Tony V's biggest problem. If you're going to bring them up and they're not going to start, we're not using the bench, so it's going to be unproductive.
Correct.
Keep them down in Sacramento where they can get their at-bats.
Same thing with Barracoto. Who's he going to replace? He's not going to replace Gilbert or Jung-Hoo Lee or Ramos or for that sake, Brennan. Because look, Bader's going to come back here probably soon, right?
And he was hitting tonight.
Brennan's
he was hitting tonight in the cage, so he's probably within a couple days. He's coming back. So money talks, contracts are always the priority.
I get what you're saying, and that's the thing is people want to scream for that, and I get it, I understand it, but I just don't think right now there's not the move to be made at this particular time. I don't see the organization saying, Schmidt, you're going to ride the bench. In other words, you're not going to play anymore. You're just going to sit there. You're going to have the best seat in the house, so to speak. You're going to be.
Wait a second. Don't we all agree that heading into this, he's a bench player anyway?
Yeah, but the way he's playing, you can't afford to sit him with his bat. You can't, not at this time.
Bat. I don't see much of the bat. I see him.
Okay. So then, would you put Eldridge every single day as a DH and have Casey Schmidt just sit?
Well, I get him in there and see what he does for a month. I mean, what has Devers done for a month? What has Chapman? None of these guys are doing anything. What? If anybody who says it'll hurt the ball club, it can't hurt the ball club anymore. And you brought up the name Bader.
They got a
history. You brought up the name Bader, Eric. I want your take on this, and I wasn't all in, to be honest with you, on Drew Gilbert. Mm-hmm. Because I thought I was afraid you would have that fraternity feel where you got Vitello and him with the background they do. And, he's his boy, right? Mm-hmm. And we kind of saw that with Chapman and last year's manager, right? It was like the father-son scenario to me.
Yeah, correct.
So they go out and they get Bader this year. Well, if your plan was to put Bader in center field, why wouldn't they just put Drew Gilbert in center field, save the money, and put Lee in right? because I don't really see a big difference in Gilbert and him to begin with. And I think the more I see him play, Drew Gilbert, he's certainly not going to hurt this ball club either.
Okay.
Or at least he's, as Lou said, I see a little bit of the scrappiness in a player like him. He put a Marlin jersey on him tonight, Lou. That's the kind of player I want. At least I want. These guys are going up there just 1, 2, 3 swings. I'm like, this is terrible baseball. It's boring baseball. It's not exciting. The fans were, I'm telling you, Eric, this first time I've seen the fans as bombastic with the boos as tonight.
And because of why, though? Why were they booing? But why were they booing?
They were booing everything, really.
They
were really pissed off.
I would have been asleep. If it wasn't for Arise, I would have been asleep.
No.
Being a Giants fan.
I mean,
they booed. The loudest boo was Schmidt getting picked off second. Like mental, like foolishness.
That was just, that's, come on, you can't do that. You can't do that, man. You cannot do that. So
this is a team that cannot afford to run themselves out of games.
No, you're right. 100%. You can't do that. You just can't.
Frustrating to be there, Eric. I mean, you're watching on TV. It's bad enough you're at home and you're like, I can take a break. I go mow the lawn. I can go feed the fish. Lou and I'm waving down at Lou going, I need to take, next time Lou, look up, I'm going to have a big stick with a white flag on it. I'm going to always come out. I always come out of the foxhole with a white flag. Go, I give up, Lou. And then Lou gave up around, what were you gone, Lou? 7th inning? I said, well, Lou's gone.
All right, I tell you what. You know what? I'm gonna play this clip afterwards. It's Adrian.
I left the top of the 8th. Sorry.
Oh, Lou, you hung in there a little longer than I expected, Lou. I'll give you credit. The old Rob, what was it? Cal Knight try.
What's up, Brosman? Rob says, I'm proud to see the fan base getting pissed off with ownership. Now let's talk about this. News today: Giants have sold a portion of the ownership to Thrive, a private equity firm. What does this mean? I mean, talk to me. I'm going to ask you, Glenn, private equity, do you think they're going to invest into this club to make it better? Or do you think they're just trying to make a buck? What say you?
I'm torn. It could be just the quick buck thing, or it could just be some of these organizations. It was a percentage, right? It was just they brought in a percentage. Yeah, so some of these, I've been in enough cocktail parties with radio guys, all these old 70 and 80-year-old radio guys. They go, but I own my radio station. It's just it's a pet project. It's a toy. It's an investment. And they go, I have a break even. I'm a part owner of a baseball team.
It's a money thing.
So my question to you in return, Eric, is if these guys are all in, how many owners do we need of a ball club and a movie theater up the street? Come on now. I mean, how many? It's bad enough. We were up to like 30 owners, Lou. We're going to be up to, we're aiming at 40.
It's 40
special matinee at the theater next Thursday.
It's been 30 for quite some time. But again, it's another, because last year, what was it? That 6th Street. Now you got this Thrive. Oh, no. The year before last was 6th Street, right? I think. And then no. It was last year, 6th Street. And then in the offseason, we got this St. Louis billionaire decided to buy some stake in the team. And now all of a sudden you got this private equity firm called Thrive who are now investing in. But are they investing for themselves to get that money? Look,
I think they're investing for themselves, Eric. And you know why? I think to answer your question, I'll volley right back. All of the big money that came in last year. Show me the money, Eric. Where are the investments? Where are
It went into the ballpark. That's what they said.
The ballpark. I told Lou last night's show. I said, I walk into that ball. You were in there this week, Eric. Do you walk in and go, oh, the ballpark? They got a digital board up. I don't even notice anything else. That's it. And they widened the gap at the end of the escalator. Well, how about put an escalator where you can actually have 2 people going up at once? It takes like forever to get out of that ballpark. Takes forever to get in it, for that matter, right? All they did was widen it by about 15 feet and put up a board, a digital board. All that, you know what? It's like watching these game shows on TV. They put everything behind the big curtain. It was the big project behind the curtain all summer, Lou, or all spring. You were waiting for, what's the big thing? What's the big? Well, they're working on it. What's the announcement? We don't know. And then I'm like, that's it? That's it? Show me the money. You can have all the investors in the world there. I don't know where the money's coming. Maybe money's going out, but I don't see money coming in.
Well, there you go, Glenn. And that's the point I'm trying to make. That's what, look, the money's going into the ballpark. It's going into Mission Rock because everybody wants to develop because it's, it's making them money. So are they going to be putting money into the product on the field? And I have questions whether or not it's going to be. If you go look down south, right?
Wait a second,
look at LA, what do? They invest. Now, don't get me wrong. They still invest in their ballpark, but they also have a huge investment on the product on the field.
They have an older ballpark too. They have to do some, we don't really, we have everybody comes to town, including the Dodgers, got the nicest ballpark in the league, which is great to hear. Right?
Yeah.
But I got to ask you this then too, Eric or Lou, either one of you or both chime in. A couple of years ago, and I think we all, for whatever reason, I was watching on the NBC broadcast the night that they had Larry Baer on. I think we all seemed to have watching it. And he's doing all 2 innings about Mission Rock. Last year was the theater. What do they got up their sleeve this year, boys? What we haven't seen what this year's little pet project's going to be. Has there been one yet, Lou? There's going to be one if there hasn't. There's got to be something.
It was already done in the offseason. Yeah, it's.
I'd like to know who's giving away their shares that they could sell.
Yeah, somebody must be selling, right?
So I'm thinking this. Obviously, Johnson's not selling. Who owns what? 51.6%.
No, 29. I think 29%.
Is it 29? Or he's the majority owner? I think these other people are saying, "I want out."
Could be.
Give me my profit out and get out. The other thing too is I think it's ironic. What are they going to do next year? These contracts are guaranteed. They might not have a year. They might not play. All right. So this year they only have 3 concerts when normally they have 8. I think some of these owners say, "Give me my money now. I'm out." And then it's an opportunity for others because I personally think this is now 4. Now, I know some guys might have 3%, 6, 8. We don't know because they always. But the other thing, too, is except for Visa behind them, maybe it's not going as good as we think.
Talking about Mission Rock.
Mission Rock. Now, they put a lot out, but maybe they're not getting enough in from there. Because if you remember the Giants last year, made so much, they only did like 61% of the money they made went to the ball team. They have money they could use, but no, if you remember, we weren't over the number. So I think people are just saying, you know what? Enough. Let me get my money. Let me get out now because I have an opportunity to. And maybe they don't like some of the people in charge. Maybe they don't like Johnson working for someone like Larry Baer. Where right now we know it's not about the team. It's all about investments and real estate. Where these other people said, "Hey, I wanted to be part of the team." And the other thing is where you get people like San Diego that just sold for money, right? You see the Giants are worth more. The stadium's paid for. Mission Rock's paid for. They expect more. They're not getting it. So they just say, "Okay, you know what? Put me out." Because you know what? We're not competing with the Dodgers. We're not competing with Arizona. We're not competing with San Diego. Again, San Diego has got new owners who we don't know. But why do I want to be part of a team that's happy to be 504th place? When I originally made my investment, the Giants were just off 3 and 5 years. They can't use that anymore. No. And for me, the only thing I've seen when I've gone to the ballpark is the Willie Mays statue. They have a new plaque. I don't know if you noticed it. The plaque is new. It basically mentions him. And that's it. But if you remember when Glenn came back from Canada, it was like, are they going to be ready for opening day? You saw all these things, like maybe there's a new statue going, new entrances. Everything else is the same. So I just think they have a chance to sell, and they might as well just give the hats that say sucker on it because people are popping in, and that's just the way I feel.
Eric, I asked you a few minutes ago, did you when you were at did you walk in awe of the ballpark the other day? Or did you even notice?
Look the same. The only thing I noticed different, and I pointed it out to Ibrahim and I pointed out to you, they put a string of lights at the very top. That was, remember, it was the City Connect colors at the very, very tippy top of the stadium. They have those LED lights all around, and I don't know if they were there. I didn't pay attention last year whether they were there. And again, that could have been there last year. So if that's the case, other than that, I noticed nothing different. Tom, private equity is about squeezing every nickel out of an investment. In other words, they're not going to put money in. Is that what you're trying to say? Wish a wealthy local would get in there and take majority share of the team. This is something that's been talked about quite often, man. I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen. But it just seems.
Go ahead, Eric. Sorry.
It just doesn't seem with this news, with this private equity firm, it just does not seem like that is a move that you make that's going to improve the product on the field, so to speak. Are they going to be opening up, so to quote unquote, the coffers? And don't get me wrong. Yes, I understand they have spent some money, but look, I mean, they're still, what is it? Like $13-14 million under the CBT. I mean, they could have gone out and did something. They could have done something else, and maybe they're waiting for trade deadline. I don't know, because by that time it may be already over with.
Eric, they could have spent $3 million of the $13 million and gotten Giolito. That's just my thought.
Yeah,
for a fifth starter.
Yeah.
There's our buddy Preller doing Preller things early in the season with a team that was tied heading into today with the Dodgers. We're tied with Colorado down there, and the Padres are making moves because they're tied with the Dodgers up there. You see show me the money. That's Glenn's quote of the night. Lou, Eric hasn't seen Moneyball. I invite you, Eric, to watch it. You learn a lot about the game, just the way the A's did things. But Lou, do you remember the old saying over there in Oakland when the players had to pay? Eric, you want to? I would have gotten out of my contract if I was with the Oakland A's, Lou, because over there, Eric, in the dressing room, you had to pay
for your sodas.
You had to pay for your Pepsi in the Pepsi machine. And what was the quote, Lou? And when they were on the airplane, Dave Justice says to the guy, he goes, "Man, show me where my money is going on the field."
Yeah, I don't understand it, man. I got to pay for my own soda. Are you kidding me? And then he goes, "Well, we're using the money to make the team better." He goes, "How in the hell is that? I got to pay for my soda."
He says, "Show me where that money is on the field."
Yeah,
and it's not. So again, this Giants team bringing in guys. I don't know. I still say, at the end of the day, they should have gone young, Eric, and just built it up like the Sharks are doing in hockey, like a lot of these ball clubs who are now finding success. They did it. They did it. I would sell my soul, Eric, for the next 2 or 3 years, finish last place, let Colorado and then do it the right way. Stop plugging the gap with these guys. And God love them. Arise, great. But wouldn't you rather have a nice young player in? How come the Padres get all these young players that they play? Or how about the Pittsburgh Pirates who are comers, the Marlins who are comers, getting young players? We got our young players. Well, they're not ready, and he strikes out. Either play him or go old and lose, or go young and have a shot at building.
Well,
something.
I'll tell you what. Before I get to this, the Giants' future looks bright. They got it. Look, the Giants this summer, in a few months here, they're going to have the 4th pick in the MLB draft. And, they didn't get the 4th pick by tanking, because it's a lottery. It's a lottery. And the Giants were able to get the 4th pick. And on top of that, you were able to get 2 of the top prospects in a international draft. Those guys are going to be coming up. And then you also got guys like Johnny Level and Parks Harbor. I think he's still injured. So the Giants have a young core, so to speak, that are going to be coming up soon. The problem is with baseball, it takes time. They're going to be fine. The Giants are doing the work, and it's going to get even better this summer when they got that 4th pick.
I think those young players are up and comers. I really do.
Oh, they are, man. Look at that. The Gonzalez and Hernandez, they may absolutely fly through the minor leagues, because again, it looks like they're showing something. But
a lot of people, Eric, talk about our minor league system, and we have done it here on this show over the last, little while. I'm changing the tune. I think the days of saying we have the worst farm team in history and sucks, I think those days are going, because we do have a little bit of upcoming talent down there.
We do. And it takes time. That's the problem. Yeah. You guys got to give it time. It's the only problem overnight.
The only problem is, I see, the guy who backs me the most on that topic is senior softball games. He's in the chat, and he's always saying this is a team 3 or 4 years from now when all those guys are ready. But I don't want those guys having to come up and mow the lawn of all the senior citizens on this team. We inked to like 2 long-term contracts. You're going to end up having to piece together a team around 3 or 4 guys that are locked in here that you're going to be begging to get rid of, if some of you aren't already begging to get rid of them now.
Yeah, it did. Unfortunately,
I don't want to wait 3 to
That's the
5
sport.
years. I can't
Oh,
wait
well,
3 to 5
I
years.
know.
I might not be around.
Yeah.
I don't want to be an old man.
Lou, I think if you're going to wait to
Getting
do it in 3 to 5 years, they
30.
should have started this plan earlier of building the team and building it up young. I mean, in 5 years, it'll be another excuse, Lou. It'll be like, well, this isn't working out. We're going to do it this direction. So give us another few years. It's just this
right.
team doesn't seem to have the attitude of like, let's go get them. Let's go get them. I don't know. We got to win. They're just like, just want to make playoffs.
All right,
Yeah,
let's
they're
listen to
safe,
Adrian Hauser.
happy.
I want to
Eric,
listen to Adrian
Put me in a
Hauser.
good mood. Let's hear what Hauser says.
Listen to this. You're going to love it.
Been kind of battling all year, trying to get everything going the right way, get everything, kind of synced up and everything. Felt good all week, felt good in the bullpen, and then got out there for the game and just felt like it wasn't clicking, was a little off. And so, going back to the drawing board, trying to figure things out. Don't think it's a big thing. Just think there's just something slightly off to get things going and then get back on it.
Doesn't think it's a big thing. I think what he's trying to talk about, I'm guessing he's trying to say he's mechanically off a little bit, I guess. But back to the drawing board. How about that, huh?
How many more shots does I have at that drawing board?
Look, with starting pitching, it's a little bit different than, with an everyday player, you're going out there every single day. Boom, 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 boom. With pitching, you got 4 days off. You're right in between starts to kind of tweak things and figure things out. So far, whatever they've been tweaking, it hasn't worked.
I think you saw Lou tonight, even though he had one spotty little inning there. Alcantara's a pitcher. I mean, we're not a team made up of.
Yeah.
We got more throwers than pitchers, in my opinion. Alcantara, he's a pitcher. Shohei, he's a pitcher. The guy who beat us yesterday, he beat us on a one-hitter. He was a pitcher. We got throwers, and I think this guy will be heading to the woodpile soon if he doesn't turn it around. You can't. I don't want to go through what we went with Verlander last year. And
No.
I know you don't argue about wins and losses,
agree.
Eric, with me too often, but that is a case where I don't want to see a pitcher in our team dropping 10 games and going, well, he's doing a good job otherwise. If you ain't winning, get him the hell out of here.
Well, and that's the same thing, right?
I know I'm in a pissed off mood tonight,
right.
But this is ridiculous the way they're playing, Eric.
Now, right, it is. And now let's talk about this. If Adrian Hauser gave up the 8 and the Giants were able to score 9 runs, guess who gets the win? Hauser. Do you think he's deserving of that win? Hell no. Right? But then that's the thing is the Giant right now, today, the hitting was not the problem. You score 4 runs, more times than not, you're going to win a game in Oracle Park. But when you have a starting pitcher who absolutely shit the bed, he did. He shit the bed. That's where our focus needs to be, is what the hell is going on with Adrian Hauser. But unfortunately, you're not seeing a whole lot of that in the chat. It's more about, again, the offense rather than what the pitching's doing. And look, the pitching right now, as far as Adrian Hauser is concerned, we got a problem. Got a problem, man.
We'll never agree on that, Eric. Eric and I will never agree on that. See, you say that if the pitcher, who gets the win late, if the team's bats had come to life tonight, people would have forgot about that outing, and someone else would have got the win, and all would have moved on forward.
Yeah,
right?
but it's all
that you got to identify. This is why I go back to a guy like Webb and a guy like this. If these guys are putting you in a position where somebody else is trying to scrap out, the team's trying to scrap out enough run to get someone else the win, then they're not that good to begin with.
Well, hey, if this is Webb's line against the Dodgers against Miami, the Giants would have came away with the win. He would have done enough to get the win. He would have gone 7 innings. I gave up only 3 runs, and the Giants would have eked it out by 1 run. They would have been, and you know what? No one's going to talk. No one's going to say anything about Webb, but because he lost and they got blanked, that's the problem. And I get it. It's how everybody fans. I get it. I understand.
I haven't seen him pitch against the Marlins, Eric.
That's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm making is if he went out there and only gave up 3 runs and went 7 innings, the Giants would have had a win. That's all I'm saying. And it's a decent outing. It's not great.
Yeah, but if Hauser had gone out and give up 3 runs.
If he gave up 3 runs in 7 innings, no one would be talking. No one would be saying anything about Adrian Hauser. They would say that was a solid outing.
Eric, but it's the same with our hitters. If Devers had 10 home runs and about 28 RBIs right now, nobody be telling you he stinks. because he does stink, because look at his numbers.
Yeah.
You got a cleanup hitter who blows right now, but
He does.
I want no more excuses. Look at the bottom line. Look at the bottom. The bottom line is the bottom line. If you're not producing, there's a problem.
You got to go out there and perform.
What do you think of the lineup you saw tonight? I still have questions about the makeup of the lineup of this team. I think there's guys way out of.
I did want to. I agree. One of the things I did want to bring up, Webb said the same thing yesterday. He's not all there. These guys are coming up with excuses that usually are in spring training. Okay. We're 30 games in. I don't want to hear pitchers saying they got to go back. Webb said the same thing the other day. Oh, I'm just not 100%. I'm still working on things. I'm sorry, but it's your sixth start. We're in game 30. That's stuff that you got to work on in spring training. So when you go live and when it counts, you don't have that as an excuse. Hauser right now, what they should do, he admits, I have no clue what I'm doing. It's good during the week. Once I get in, I have no clue. The guy's given up 29 runs in 33 innings. 29 runs in 33 innings.
That's ridiculous.
I know he's our fifth starter, but you got to figure this guy out. So what do? Send him to the AAA and get him working. Do not bring him back. Because let me tell you something. If they're going to go against quality pitching and you put someone like Hauser, we're going to lose every game like that. You know, the Giants need to be more effective starting pitching. Okay, we thought that was going to be our strong point, but Hauser's not a fifth starter. Is there any team in the whole entire major leagues that would make him as a fifth starter right now? No, it was a bad signing. You got to figure him out now because you got him this year and you got him next year. So send him down, even though he's pitched, to get his shit right. We can't have him go, and especially you think it's bad here. What's going to happen when you go on the road? It's going to be twice as bad.
Yeah, Phillies. Look, the Phillies are scuffling too. The Phillies exactly aren't playing really good baseball.
Yeah, but if Hauser pitches in Philly in that ballpark,
I know. I know.
It's funny you say that, Lou, about going on the road, how bad it could be. They just don't seem. What is it about this ball club and the players they bring in? I mean, I swear to God, if you brought Judge in here, he'd be like down in the dumps too. Because guys don't hit here unless you're wearing the other team's uniform. We don't produce. You go back since our World Series runs. Have we really produced like a home team should in their own ballpark? Is this ballpark's dimensions so out of whack? What is it? What is it about the Giants at home that they're just? It doesn't.
Let me ask you a question. When Miami hit tonight, was there a problem with the ballpark?
Nope.
At all. No. It's our personnel that we have.
Hey, was it? Did Jung-Woo Lee have a problem? Did Luis Arias have a problem?
No. But again, Lee we got from Korea, so I'm going to give him credit. And Arias is just a great hitter. But these other guys, they got to start adapting to the ballpark. Let me tell you something.
You know who's adapting the most right now? Chapman. Chapman's adapting the most.
Let me ask you a question. If Miami and the Giants switch roles and Miami played in this ballpark, they'd be 30 games over at home because they hit the ball everywhere. The problem with the Giants, and we keep talking about this, we're dead last in home runs. Thank God Arias has 5 stolen bases or would be dead last in that. And those are 2 key offensive categories. We're dead last in walks. So it's hard to bring up victories when you're not doing probably 3 out of the top 6 that takes a win. Other thing is,
did you say Arias stole a base?
He stole again.
We talked about that. Dino and I, we looked at each other and go, where all these fans say, oh, he's too slow.
And by the way,
he has done everything that you've asked of him.
Everything right. Everything right.
The team that never steals, and he's the guy. Isn't it ironic? Everybody bitched about his speed and defensive ability. He's the guy stealing your bases.
Hey, remember when I said this guy's going to be like Tony Gwynn? And I'll be first to admit, I didn't see the speed, but I've been pleasantly surprised.
Absolutely.
His bat is like Tony Gwynn. Crooked Kipe even talked about it on the broadcast. Luis Arias gives him.
There you go. I was just going to say that.
Vibes, man.
You cannot watch him play at Oracle Park or even these games I've seen on the road and you watched on TV. You cannot watch him and say that isn't a professional approach.
Yeah.
You're excited when he comes to the plate, guys.
Yeah.
because something good can happen. And there's a lot of other players. I'm you know what I'm feeling? I'm feeling the Bailey vibes when the other players come up. I'm like, this ain't going to end well.
Ha! All right, I'm done. What time's tomorrow's game?
There was a lot of questions for me tonight. A lot of questions. The way he managed, and remember I said yesterday they kind of threw themselves out of the game early when they were throwing home, and they had no business doing that. They're just not fundamentals. We're getting picked off second. This team is not good enough to be pissing away runs.
No, they can't be. Can't be giving away free passes, man.
And what is the manager doing about that? Is he sitting him tomorrow and going, that is unacceptable? No, they'll be in there, and Devers will be at first, and then it'll be the same old. They're not taking the bull by the horns and saying, we're going to fix this. You need Vitello. That's what I'd like to see from him. Do you guys not agree? You want to see a manager goes, you know what? If it was in school, you'd be standing. If it was a little, where would Willie be, Eric? In the corner.
Go in the corner.
I want to see a manager who says that's not acceptable in my ball club. You're sitting tomorrow. That's what I'd like to see. Take the bull by the horns. Not the same old and maybe tomorrow. Just don't let that happen.
Hey, that's why he gets paid the big bucks. And that's why we're here on Giant Sports Talk Live.
Yeah, but the boys seem to enjoy us. I'm a little wound up tonight.
Absolutely.
Lou headed home early. He had enough early. He said,
tomorrow, 105 start. A 105 start tomorrow. It's going to be Yuri Perez versus
2 Saturdays left in the season.
Yuri Perez versus Robbie Ray tomorrow, 105 start. Let's see if the Giants can go out there and get a win. We'll see.
You know what's going to be more exciting tomorrow than the game, Eric and Lou? Saluting Brandon Belt for his days as a San Francisco Giant.
The captain.
The giveaway.
Well, Lou, I'm sorry. It'll be 4 sizes too small for Lou. It'll be a hand puppet. Lou will come out. It's a hand puppet. It's a hand puppet. They're extra larges or mediums, for God's sake. But anyway, that's food for another.
Again, before we go, I know a couple guys in the chat. I like it, and I know Glenn likes it, and I know Eric likes it. Hey, when we're at the ball game, I love it when you guys come by, say hello. I had a couple guys today that came by. You know, they either recognize my voice or my thing. Hey, are you part of Giant Sports Talk Live? I want to thank the chat because, guys, you might not feel it, but us three feel it. We're growing leaps and bounds, and we just want to say thank you. And, you know, it's fun, and, you know, we like it where we feel special when someone comes up to you, and it's never like, hey, are you super salty? Are you Glenn? Hey, are you Giant Sports Talk Live? So it takes us to make it great, and we appreciate the chat for really growing with us and leaps and bounds, and, you know, it's only going to get bigger and better.
Lou, not just that. I'll take it a step further. I got to see Eric at the park the other night. We sat and we watched some ball. We watched the Dodger game. I think it was the first one in the series. A little wet, but, you know, it was the friendships, the fun, just being at the ballpark. I waved down. I felt great tonight when I got my wave, the big wave from Lou down with the rich people down in the, down by the dugout. And I'm like, yeah, can you see me? You needed the military grade binoculars to find me.
No, I found you because I thought you were in 300 and I saw you in Club Low. I go, God, he stepped up tonight.
Well, I'm trying to sooner or later, I'm going to work my way down there, Lou. And if I keep working hard enough, I might just be in the dugout because I could probably do a better job than half these guys in the team.
Yeah.
But it's good to see you guys as well at the ballpark, not just our guys in the chat. Good to see you, Lou, tonight. Eric, earlier in the week.
Absolutely. Guys, be good. Enjoy the rest of it. Well, there's like only about 15 minutes left in Friday, and then we're going to be in early. We're gonna be in early Saturday. So, guys, tomorrow, enjoy your afternoon tomorrow. It's gonna be afternoon baseball. I know there's consternation amongst the fan base, but it's another day. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Maybe Robbie Ray will go out there and throw a nice gem.
Before we go, who is pitching for the Marlins tomorrow, Eric?
Yuri Perez.
All right, so you got Perez and you got Ray, who would arguably, in most cases, consider him our number 2. But yeah, everything's in a bit of a. So our number 2 pitcher, you got him going for my. What do you guys predict? Eric, start with you. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow? Now,
good question. I don't know. Giants have a tough time playing afternoon baseball. They have a tough time paying after movie. We'll have to see. I don't know, man. I don't honestly. I'm not going to even try to guess. I'm not going to even try to guess. I don't know.
The way I saw the Marlins, 5-2 Marlins tomorrow. Giants just right now are not mentally. Glenn, you bring up a great point. They're there, but they're not playing as a team playing baseball. And that goes with the coaches, not having the bullpen. So Miami, you know what? They're going to go tomorrow. They're going to win it. They're going to win the series. And then don't be surprised if, the Giants somehow get swept, because it was just a weird, eerie feeling at the ballpark. Now, again, you guys went to the Dodgers, and it could be maybe one of those things. After the Dodgers, it was a big letdown. It's like you can only be high so much, but it felt flat. And, the Giants are going against a great pitcher tomorrow, who basically is going to say, hey, guys, you guys get me 3 or 4 runs, I'll hold the Giants down. And that's what I'm thinking.
I just don't see I think Eric nails it when he says that there's not a lot of chemistry from what I see on this team. It's just there's 9 guys out there, and it's not really a cohesive group on the field.
Yeah.
I'm seeing catch the effing ball more than I'm seeing like high fives or smiles, or they just don't seem to be there for each other.
We'll see. And that usually takes a while for it to build up. You don't have chemistry right off the bat. You got to let the season progress, and then let's see what happens, when they get another month or 2 of baseball in, and then we'll see where the team is at.
After 10 days when you catch the ball.
Yeah, I hear you. Oh, real quick, special thanks to JB, Rob Iman, and Safeway Trucker. Those were all our donations today. So we appreciate you guys spending your hard-earned money here on Giant Sports Talk Live. Time to get the hell out of here, and we will be back tomorrow. See you guys. Woo!
You've been watching Giant Sports Talk Live with Eric and Glenn, a Northern Lights Entertainment Broadcasting production.